she's got great chat.
I was coming back here to tell you I loved you.
I licked her tit or whatever.
You know, quicksand. It's like the equivalent. It's made out of dicks.
It's banter. I'm a mommy.
Mommy?
I'm a mom.
Mamacita.
Mommy.
Like a mom of what? A dog?
Are you joking?
You are a liar, actress.
So fast. It's crazy.
First things first, banning Durkins and all McDonald's burgers. And if you're still eating those Durkins, grow up, because they're minging.
Hello and welcome to She's Got the Chat. I am Maura.
And I am a scorned wife here to once again stand up for my sweet, sweet man of a husband.
Oh my gosh.
Quote, that sweet, sweet man.
That sweet, sweet man. There's no way he's a traitor.
That sweet,
He's a
sweet, man.
Sweet man. God, that was amazing.
This episode, simultaneously, the mix of emotions that I have inside of me is intense.
I feel very vindicated, but we will get to that when we get to it.
I mainly feel just really confused. And I was on my personal Threads account taking up for my husband. Because somebody fucking put on Threads, he didn't get nearly enough hate on his Love Island season. I'm like, what the fuck are people talking about? And why do you want him to get online hate? And why is Candiace perpetuating it? Like, I'll take a deep breath.
I actually have a lot to say about this. I feel like the hate and vitriol that he's getting is like in reference to like his pretty privilege and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I ask, like, what about Dylan Efron? What about Boston Rob?
Well, Dylan Efron wasn't a traitor.
Right.
And Boston Rob wasn't, I don't know, a good traitor no. So, oh my God, fuck. That was so rude of me. He was such a good traitor, but he wasn't a winning traitor. He didn't make it this far in the game. He also came from a show that I guess lends itself more to gameplay on the surface than people think Love Island does. What I'm really struggling with this episode and also everything I'm seeing online is the way that Candiace is making this like a personal attack on Rob's character.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you know what show you're on? Like, I'm so confused. It feels like there's so much projection onto him all the time, not just from her, definitely from her, because she's unwilling to like see her own flaws. So like, how could her being banished be a representation of her own shortcomings in the game? It has to be his fault. But the projection, I think, from the audience is really intense too. Like, it's giving like, I don't believe that you're this sweet, sweet man because you look like somebody who's hurt me. And to that I say, there's no way you've ever dated anyone as hot as Rob.
Period.
So no, he doesn't.
Even if it wasn't someone that you dated or if it was just like another person in your life or whatever. Yeah, I agree with you. I do think that there's like some kind of mirror situation where people are projecting these ideas onto him. And the thing is, for me, it's like everyone needs to like take a step back and like come back down to earth, because he was cast as a traitor. He was given the role of traitor. And as a traitor, you have to betray.
As a traitor, you can't become a faithful and like, sorry.
Right.
That's what he had to do.
Yeah. He's cast in what is literally the villain of the show. Right? The villain is the star of the show, but it is the villain of the show for all intents and purposes.
Yes.
And like to draw the parallel or like to draw the line between a role he's playing in a TV show to him as a person is insane. And like, you do need to touch grass.
You saying that just made me think like, okay, well then I can't be actually mad at Candiace. But
yeah, well, it's different because she's doing it outside the game.
She is doing it outside of the game. She also is inside of the game using his actions to say you are a bad person fundamentally.
Right.
Yeah. I also just think like people, like, in general, I literally feel like for this episode, Mara, we need to go back to our strategy from Love Island USA season 6, where we read a transcript back and forth, because
Love that.
even outside of his actions in the game reflecting on who he is as a person, I don't think that he's playing the game in a mean way. Like, he's playing a good traitor game. You have to murder people, you have to betray people. That's literally the game.
Right.
The game is about quote unquote, mom, don't worry, murdering people.
Right.
That what the fuck are we doing here? But also, like, within that, for there to be so much like, oh, you went after Lisa, you went after Candiace, like, that's actually just not at all how I see it.
I agree.
So, like, I disagree on both. I disagree with the judgment of how he's playing the game. And, of course, I disagree with the then extension of that into, therefore, you're a bad person.
Yeah, I'm with you
IRL.
100%. Yeah. I'm just like, okay, what if, like, Chris Evans was the traitor? Like, would people be treating him that same way? Or, like, if Pedro Pascal was the traitor, would you be like, Pedro's a bad person?
Chris
like,
Evans,
no, of course
Pedro,
not.
can you do us a tiny favor?
Can you be a traitor for us, please?
I don't know. I do think a piece of it that we have not touched on is I would assume that most of the people going after Rob now are Candiace and Lisa stans, and most of the people going after Rob on Love Island were Leah stans.
Yeah.
So I think that that's a part of it, and that's why I say it's a projection, because Leah and Lisa aren't fucking mad at Rob. Candiace is, and we can talk about that when we get there. But, like, why do you feel like you're doing this on, like, their behalf when, like, literally we saw on Love Island Rob, like, have to accept Leah's apology for her bad behavior? Nobody, like, ever fucking talks about that. And now on this show, like, Lisa, she's like, he's a bad boy, I have to spank him. But she knows it's a game. She's not fucking mad at him.
Right.
She's having so much fun with it. She's like, I literally just wanted to get to the banquet to wear this fabulous outfit. I had the most amazing time. Like, she is handling this how you handle being on a game.
I know. I don't know. I don't know why there's the defensiveness from the audience, and it's bizarre.
I actually would love to extend an invitation, case by case basis, to somebody who, like, hates how Rob is playing this game. And my stipulation is this cannot be the first season of Traitors that you've watched. You have to have seen other seasons of the show.
Yes.
I would like to extend an invitation for you to come on our show and explain it to us, because I genuinely, as always, when recapping shows that my husband is on, feel like I am taking fucking crazy pills. And you want to know what? For the rest of this episode, even though I'm literally wearing his merch, I will stop referring to him as my husband, because I don't want it to seem like I am just, like, biased, because I am. I acknowledge that. He's the hottest person I've ever seen in my life. Like, I am, like, so deeply obsessed with every single part of him. But objectively, this is also how I feel about it. And a part of the reason that I think that he's the hottest person in the world is because he's playing this game so smart and so well.
I know. It's really fun. It's really fun to watch.
So I do actually think it's really important that we have this conversation up front, because people don't always listen to a full episode. And what we want to be very clear about is don't cyberbully any of these people. Don't do it. Don't cyberbully Rob. Don't cyberbully Candiace. Don't cyberbully any of them. And that includes just, like, leaving mean fucking comments about them online. It's not that serious. It's a goddamn game.
Yeah.
Called The Traitors. About murder. Like, what? About murder. Oh my God, I didn't even notice that you were wearing.
I know. Yes, I'm wearing a sweater that my friend made me. She found this sweater vest. It's like a red sweater vest. And she screen printed murder in sparkly letters on it.
That is...
As a la Alan Cummings.
Such a good friend.
Shirt. I know. She's a friend from karaoke, and she surprised me with it at our social on Tuesday. It was so nice of her.
Does she listen to the pod?
Yes, she does. Hi, Lauren.
Thanks, Lauren. You're a good friend. Okay, a little bit of business to get to up top. But one thing I did want to mention is there's been a lot of chatter online about Kristen saying that apparently at the banquet, she said, oh, it can't be that Lisa kissed jam or kissed anyone, because that would be an HR violation. Like, we signed this whatever contract before the show that we can't do that, or I don't know, that can't be a part of the game, or whatever that might be. I totally acknowledge that the HR for Traitors US might be different than the HR for Traitors UK, but this was a murder in plain sight in Traitors UK. It was the kiss of death. So, like, obviously Jam is a student of the game, and that's why he thought that that's what happened. Obviously, Kristen, love you so much. Really, genuinely. Love Kristen Kitsch. In and out of the game. Maybe it's different in the US and the UK, but that has been a game mechanic before, so I just wanted to throw that out there.
That's good to know. I didn't know that, actually. I assumed that when she said it was an HR violation that was actually true, but I mean, maybe like you said, maybe it is for the US, but not for the UK. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Because, you know, the US is like so clear about,
so woke.
Yeah, they're like all about protecting women and children, and it's really just like making sure people are safe.
Exactly. They love that.
By the way, that reel that I think Cass sent us about how Curtis is in basically UK MAGA, someone commented on it and was like, why would you bring politics up? And I just like had this moment of like, so nice to know. So nice to know that we're not the only country where we get shat on for like talking about relevant things about the players that you don't agree with or want to hear.
Honestly, I feel like I've been seeing it more and more lately. Obviously, with everything going on, more people are speaking out, which is good. But then, like, there's always people in the comments just being like, go back to like talking about the thing that you started talking about. Don't bring politics into this. It's just like everything is political. Like, wake up. Like, this is our life. That's what politics are.
Also, just based on what we've been talking about lately, I just want to say, like, I actually don't think that ICE or human rights or being shot in the face by a fucking armed Nazi is politics.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
Moving on. As always, we are big fans of Newly. And if you would also like to get onto the Newly train and get some cute new clothes for your wardrobe, you can head to the link in our bio. And then when you add your first box, you can put rent 1515 in there to get $15 off your first and second month of Newly.
One thing that I love about Newly is how flexible they are. So I had a box for like 2 weeks, and then I was like, oh shit, I'm going to Canada. I'll be in Canada, not when you hear this, but next week. And I was like, I need like a big old puffer coat, which you would think I would have living in Colorado, but I don't.
Yeah.
And like other warm weather things and Valentine's things, because I'm going for my friends' birthdays who both were born on Valentine's Day and are turning 30. Anyway, long story short, I returned my Newly early, unlocked it early, and got a new box. And so I'll have everything that I need for my trip.
That's amazing. That'll be fun.
I'm excited. But yes, please, if you want to be like us and always have the perfect clothes for every occasion, even though what we're wearing right now is owned, not rented, murder and creek rat.
Yes.
Honestly, this is the most themed costuming we've ever done.
It is very themed. Yes.
Except for that time that we both logged in wearing the Game of Roses t-shirt.
I'm rocking their mug. I'm rocking their mug today.
I know.
More,
I noticed
more
that.
themed things.
Honestly, that mug haunts me. I have one
it's
too.
So scary. For anyone who can't see this, or no one can see this. It's a game. It's an old Game of Roses logo where it had Chris Harrison and the like devil eye things. They like, I don't even know how to describe it.
It's scary.
It's very scary.
Speaking of
Chris Harrison and his new traditional dating show.
Let me just read this very quickly.
Please.
Okay. Now casting, dating for a traditional marriage. Chris Harrison is back hosting a brand new dating season. No, sorry, this is like so blurry, but I'm going to do my best. Hosting a brand new dating series. A prominent streaming service, Wonder Who, canceled, is casting single men and women 21 plus who want a traditional marriage-minded partnership built on commitment and shared values. We're looking for singles who believe in clear roles, long-term commitment, and building a life together, and who are dating with real intention. Apply now, traditionallove.castingcrane.com.
Clear roles. Wow. I'd love for them to explain that to me.
Yeah, what does that mean to you? Like what roles?
I mean, I know what they mean, obviously.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I would ask.
But yeah, what does that mean to you?
But also, like, I know that liberal couples have come out of it, but like, is that not just The Bachelor? And then it was like infiltrated by like too many liberals, and they were like, nope.
Yep.
How many people of color would you, if there was a cast of 30, how many do you think would be POC?
In this show? In this
Yes.
Chris Harrison show? 1.
I was going to say 2, but
Maybe 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll have 1 black person and 1 brown person or Asian person, and that's it. Actually, you probably won't have an Asian person. It'll be 1 black person, 1 brown person.
And they will be out within the first few episodes.
Yeah, always.
Thank you so much, Chris, for just listening to the people and knowing what we wanted. Like, we've been asking for this. How did you know?
Mm-hmm. Right. The world needs this.
It sends a fucking chill in my spine. Okay.
Okay. Thank you to Rach0115 for your 5-star review. Glad to see you're here for the UK recaps and Traitors.
Yay. Please join Rach O and go ahead and leave us a 5-star review on your preferred podcast platform. You can also subscribe to us, and then you can also go to all of our socials and give us a follow. That is the best way to stay up to date about what's going on, when things are coming out. Best way to be in touch with us. Maura mainly, but me sometimes literally responds to 90% of the DMs we get. So
one thing I saw recently on our TikTok was that you had replied to our video saying, Maura, this is Ari.
yeah.
I died when I saw that.
Because you were lying. Because you were a liar.
I wasn't lying. It was a mixed thing. I forget exactly what it was now, but
it was about, on the TikTok that you posted, about what Rob posted, the Bad Bunny quote, speaking of happy Super Bowl Sunday. And so somebody was like, well, I like never doubted him. And you were like, me neither. And I responded and I was like, Maura, this is Ari. Don't lie. You did doubt him.
I never really doubted. Okay. That's what I said. I said yes and no. Like, I always believed in my heart of hearts that he leaned liberal, but I needed the evidence to fully believe it, because I'm not just going to blindly believe that a white man from Florence, Alabama is just obviously liberal. Those two things don't tend to go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. But anyway.
He's not just your average white man from Florence, Alabama.
I know.
Okay, I'm going to stop drooling over him now, so it seems like we are objective.
Yes.
Please tell a friend about our podcast who is a Rob hater, because I would love for them to listen, and I would love for them to hear our opinions, and I would love to hear from them about exactly why they disagree with evidence, not just with feelings.
I love that. That's great.
And
all right, Ari.
That's it.
I think that's it. Let's dive in to episode 8. A queen never comes off her throne.
This title scared the shit out of you.
Scared the shit out of me. I was like, does that mean that Rob is my first thought was Rob's going home this episode. And I was like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, my first thought as somebody who titles all of our episodes was, oh, she must have said that during the episode. Means nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I also assumed that she said it, but I was still like, wow. Got nervous. Okay.
Let's chat.
We start off in the turret. Rob,
good evening.
Good evening. Yes. Rob is like, do you want me to explain myself? She says, go ahead. So he gives his spiel. He says that as a person, he feels bad, but Lisa had to go. Candiace says she didn't feel like there was enough evidence to force her hand to vote for Lisa. And then Rob ITMs that he is withholding the fact that Colton is suspicious of Candiace because he knows that Candiace is lying to him. T.
Human lie detector.
Mm-hmm. And then Alan enters and Rob turns around and goes, sup.
He does this now. He also does this at the very end in the turret alone.
Oh, did he say sup? Again?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think I caught that the second time.
No, I die.
Oh my God. I laughed so hard when I saw this. I I was like, bah! Like that was very funny. I don't know why. It was just like not a lot of people were calling it disrespectful, but like I feel like I would. I know. I'm like, I would have hit Alan Cumming with a sup for sure.
Disrespectful. Get the fuck over yourself. Oh my God. I wish that I could literally roll my eyes deeper into the back of my head because I'd be doing that right now.
I know. It's just, it was so casual. It was very funny. Alan, I think, like almost laughed.
Yeah.
Like his face afterward. Okay. Then Alan says that he senses some awkwardness between them and lets Candiace and Rob know that they are able to recruit someone to be a traitor. So Candiace and Rob then weigh out whether or not they should recruit or kill.
One thing to note is that in this scenario, if they recruit, they can't murder.
Right. Because if the recruited person doesn't take the offer, they'll die.
No.
Oh.
In this scenario, they give a offer. So somebody would walk into the ITM room and get a note that says, we would like you to be a traitor, but they don't have to say yes. They could say no and continue playing the game. And then the traitors just like either way, like they're not murdering that night.
Got it.
So the only scenario that somebody is either like join me or die is what we see later in the episode when it's a face-to-face recruitment.
Got it. Okay. I kind of forgot about the letter situation.
It's actually really an interesting tactic because there are then a lot of times where you have a faithful who is given an offer to be a traitor and then they have to figure out how to handle that information.
Right.
And if they want to tell people I was recruited, but I said no, or if that then makes them more suspicious, or if it like makes it more clear who the traitors are, it's interesting. But I do think it's interesting that Rob and Candiace both immediately said no to this offer.
Is that what Pilot Pete did? I know he got recruited, obviously, but I can't remember if it was a face-to-face or just a letter. And he said,
I do think that's what happened to Pilot Pete, and he said no.
Okay, got it. Okay, that makes sense. I like that's like kind of what I recall. Okay, cool. So Rob says he doesn't want to recruit because he doesn't want to vote out any more traitors. And Candiace says that she doesn't really want to bring in anyone that could potentially help Rob get her out. And so Rob decides to give Candiace a little bit more leeway on who to kill. And so then they weigh out whether or not they should kill Colton, Natalie, or Steven.
Yeah.
This is great.
I don't want to bring in anyone to help you get me out. Okay, victim. Okay, victim.
Play better.
Who brought up whose name first? Candiace?
Mm-hmm.
I know that the three of them were the traitors together, but in this dynamic between Candiace and Rob, who's going after who, bitch?
Yep.
He's going after you because you're going after him.
I know.
Because you've made yourself a liability.
Exactly. Yeah. She fucked him. Well, I mean, yeah, she fucked him and now he's getting payback. It's tit for tat, baby.
Yeah. I also just want to say before we even know who was murdered, Candiace was obviously really pushing for Colton. And I thought that this was weird for a few reasons. Number one, he probably would have been banished. Like, I don't think that it's a good idea to ever murder somebody who has heat on them and could potentially be banished, because that's just like protecting you at the round table to have that person there. I also am like, do you not see, regardless, Colton said her name, didn't say her name. This makes Rob look great. Why would he murder his best friend?
I know. Exactly. It was confusing. It was another error on Candiace's part. I mean, I'm so glad he's gone, but like you're completely right. It doesn't actually make sense gameplay wise to kill Colton.
No, it didn't. For her, it made sense. For Rob, another thing I'm seeing online is everyone being like, Candiace won this season because she got rid of Colton. And I'm like, okay, let's give Rob just like no credit. Right. He literally was ITMing like, I'm going to tell her I don't want to do this, but like let her make the move since I was the one who said, let's not recruit.
Yes.
But like, this is a really good thing for me because it will draw a direct line to her. Like,
yep.
How do you not see that he was puppet mastering that entire situation?
I know.
Also, Maura, I'd like to give you the floor for a minute to harken back to something you said last episode.
Thank you. I just want to say that when everyone discovered at breakfast that Colton was murdered, I fucking screamed. I was just like, I knew I knew it. I knew Rob would turn on Colton the second it benefited him, and I was right.
Yes.
Don't ever question my knowledge of my boyfriend. No, but seriously, it was like, because he wants to win the game. He will do whatever it takes to win the game. Did you see Colton's response to this too?
Yes, this is one of the things that I sent you. Like,
Yeah, okay.
I hate to have to give Colton credit for anything. We can talk more about him later, but he said Rob is playing such a good game, something like this on Threads. It was brilliant to murder me. And I'm like, this, my friends, is somebody who understands that this is a game and not personal.
Exactly.
Candiace, take a page. Sorry. Oh, I like actually can't even believe these words are coming out of my mouth, but Candiace needs to take a page out of Colton's book.
Ugh. True. No, oh God. Yeah, it felt good. Because like everyone was like, oh, Rob is just like constantly, he's like a boys club, always defending the boys. And I'm like, this is a perfect example of him not doing that. And I kind of feel like everyone's just like, la, 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 la. I'm going to ignore that fact because I want to like maintain this narrative.
Exactly. And two of Rob's most important allies in this game are Maura and Natalie.
Yeah.
And Kristen, honestly.
Yeah.
It literally is just la, 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 la. I'm going to ignore the facts because I don't understand. I need somebody to come on our podcast and explain to us, please.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll get into breakfast. So first in is Maura, Tara, Eric, and Johnny. And then they discuss who would be the last possible person to be a traitor. And then they wonder whether or not somebody got recruited. Then Dorinda and Kristen enter. And Kristen wonders who could flip the most and keep up a facade, which is like hilarious because that is Rob in a nutshell. Maura thinks that Candiace could do that. And she doesn't understand Candiace's throwaway vote for Rob. Thank you, Maura, for clocking that. Good one. Johnny then says that Candiace just didn't want to vote for a housewife. And then Mark and Candiace enter the room. And Johnny asks her about the throwaway vote, if you will. And Candiace says that the evidence for both Lisa and Natalie just wasn't enough. Then last in, we have Steven, Rob, and Natalie. And everyone discovers that Colton was murdered.
Yes. And we see Colton's ITM, and we just have to talk about it because this ITM has led a lot of crazy people online to say, Rob obviously told Colton that he was a traitor.
So weird.
Not how it works, people.
Like in what world?
He said, it's become obvious that Candiace is up there trying to be consistent and then do a throwaway vote is sloppy gameplay.
Yep.
Correct. Also, for her to die on this hill of there just wasn't enough evidence when every other person thought that there was enough evidence is not a good argument. I think a way better argument would be, I was having a really hard time going against a fellow housewife.
Yeah.
That makes way more sense.
It does. And spoiler alert for the end, obviously, Johnny basically says that when he says he's voting for Candiace at the round table later. He's just like, for you to be so consistent and then like say that it's a throwaway vote because of like evidence or whatever, but like you couldn't get on board with the rest of us, that was suspicious to me. Yeah. So
Johnny also thought it was suspicious because he was like, people always say I've made it so far on the game because there's someone in the turret protecting me. Could that be Candiace?
Yep. So good.
But I think that the Johnny and Candiace of it all is actually a really interesting relationship to dissect as well because Candiace has been lying to you the whole time, Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, Candiace, that he should judge you for that as who you are as a person?
Right. Of course
on
not.
The outside?
Of course not. Right.
Yeah. So Colton ITM's that. And then the other thing that made people think that Rob must have told him is he goes, I think that something like either the traitors are playing a good game or the faithfuls are, I think he says the faithfuls are playing a bad game. I don't remember, but I hope my boy Rob wins.
Right.
He said something about the faithfuls and then he said, I hope my boy Rob wins. And everyone was like, see, he knows Rob isn't a faithful. I was like, I don't think that's what that means. Rob is his best friend in the game. That he wants him to win.
Exactly.
period, the end.
Right, of all the faithfuls, he hopes that Rob wins. Like, that's what he was saying.
He did come out afterwards, LOL, coming out Colton, and say that there was one thing that made him suspicious of Rob, which was when Rob tried to keep that secret within the Dagger Six of who had the dagger. So, I don't know. I do want to say I do think Colton was good at this game, other than the weird gameplay that he had with Lisa and some other things, but he was good at like the deducing part of this game. And had he been much more chill and much less combative, I think he could have made it farther, a la Dylan Efron Pilot Pete.
Yeah, I could see that as well. I did also see, before we move on, I did see that people were also suspecting that Rob had told Colton because Colton was like so off base about who the traitors were, and then like got on to Lisa and then Candiace immediately after that. But that is because Lisa gave herself away, and then Candiace gave herself away in the throwaway vote. So it was like, because Colton also said, like, we're talking about that conversation he had with Johnny where he was saying Candiace's name, but Colton also said Steven.
He did. So also
it's
say
like,
Steven.
You know,
and also like that in and of itself, I've seen that as well of like, oh, Rob got rid of 2 housewives back to back. Candiace got rid of herself. We said this last week before any of this played out. Candiace got rid of herself by attaching herself to a sinking ship. And she, not only the throwaway vote that was extremely sus, but she also refused to even have a conversation about if it could be Lisa. Yeah. And that was her downfall. It had nothing to do with Rob. Literally zero. The only thing that it had to do with Rob is that Rob, as a traitor, played it better than her. And so the suspicion went on to her instead of Rob, even though Lisa was gone either way. I want Woodland, who we love, would love to have you on the pod, even though I know you agree with us on most things. So not to defend the Rob hate, but just, to
chat.
He made a really, really good analogy that I wanted to bring up, that the traitors are one body, but sometimes you have to amputate a part of the body to save the body. And I think that that's what happened with Lisa. And then because Candiace was unwilling to do that, Rob had to amputate them both from himself. Yep. I don't mean he had to get rid of them. I don't think that's what happened. I just mean he couldn't in a like good gameplay way stay in the alliance with them and keep himself tied to that sinking ship. He would just be out next.
Right.
So
yeah, we'll get more into it later. I have so much to say about this. I loved this episode. It was so good.
It was so good.
So yeah, we see that Colton ITM, and then we see Rob ITM that killing Colton will bring more suspicion on Candiace because he threw out her name and now he's dead. And Rob quotes Mark Twain in this moment.
He does.
He says, it's not the things that you don't know that hurt you. It's the things that you do. I believe that's what the quote is.
Okay, this is not exactly what he said. And if he had said it like this, it would have made him sound so much more country. But this is the quote.
Okay.
It ain't what you know. It ain't what you know. No, sorry. It ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so.
Right. Wow. Yeah, that is a lot more country.
Yeah. Honestly, redo the ITM, Rob. I need to hear
I know.
it.
I need to hear it in your accent. Loved this. We've got a literary man.
Yes.
He does seem like a reader. I feel like he reads.
Oh, I know he reads.
Oh, okay. Great.
And
I love
plays
that.
chess and skips
We love a man that
rocks.
reads. Yeah. Down the crick. Alan then gives everyone a clue about painting. And we learn that apparently Rob can also paint.
Yeah, because his dad is an artist. But everyone around the table is like, what can Rob not do?
I know.
You should think more about that, faithfuls.
I know. I'm like, your guys are actually really so close to getting it. And you're just like, I saw a really funny meme that was like the, what's her face from Bird Box?
Oh.
And it was like her being blindfolded in the boat. It was just like all the faithfuls with Rob. It was just like.
Is it Sandra Bullock or is
Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, that's who it is. And yeah, it's just like they are like, I can't see it. I can't see it's right in front of me.
But the other thing is like a good play as a traitor is also to get rid of people who are gonna suss you out. So the fact that these people who are not saying that it's him, not saying that they're dumb, I'm saying like based on their experience in reality TV, based on their relationship with Rob, whatever it might be, the fact that these are the people still in the game is by design. Because that's another thing that people are using to discredit Rob. They're like, Rob isn't good. The faithfuls are just dumb. I'm like, no,
not at all.
But yeah, they don't want to see it.
It's so funny. It's so funny. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, so Kristen then ITMs that she is so confused because she was convinced that Colton was a traitor.
Yeah.
Johnny and Tara then whisper about who the traitor could be.
Okay, let's talk about Johnny and Tara briefly, shall we?
Yeah.
First of all, happy Olympics.
Yeah.
I realized that the reason that Johnny and Tara are on this season is because it's airing at the same time as the Winter Olympics. I didn't think about that until the Olympics started, but that makes so much sense. They're both commentators. I don't know that this is like a big deal, but I just think it's really funny that they're like publicly best friends, and there's a history on Traitors, especially Traitors UK, of family members, mother, son, pair of sisters, and then boyfriend, girlfriend, who went on the show together, and 2 of the 3 pairs tried to pretend like they didn't know each other because they were like, this will make it too clear that like we have an alliance and we'll be seen as a threat and they'll try to get us out. And I think that what's so funny is that Johnny and Tara, 2 very famous athletes, are employing this same strategy. I didn't necessarily know how tight they were, but I knew who they were. I just am surprised that like nobody in the castle who was a little bit older clocked or like knows that they're best friends. But my conspiracy theory is maybe somebody does know that and they just don't care. But it's so
That's
funny
possible
to me to see them like running around the castle finding these moments to like hug and whisper and like like everyone knows you're friends, no?
I know. I guess not. I guess they just think that they're like acquaintances that have like worked together for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
It is funny though that they haven't clocked it.
Did you watch that Family Guy clip that I sent you? It was like, here is like flamboyant figure skater Johnny Weir, and where's Tara Lipinski? She's never far. And then she crawls out of his hat.
Right. Or he like turns around and she's on the back of his hat or whatever. And like, oh, there she is.
It's just interesting to me that nobody knows, but whatever. Side note.
Yeah, no. I also didn't realize the cross promotion with the Olympics, but once the Olympics aired, I was like, oh, duh. Got it. Peacock loves a cross promo.
Because now they're doing so many Traitors commercials with Johnny and Tara.
Exactly.
So we then see a Dagger 6 gathering. Steven feels like there's a target on them, and he ITMs that he likes numbers, he likes probability, and knowing that Rob has 2 votes, he needs for Rob to be his alliance so that he doesn't use that against him.
Yeah.
Good job, Steven, and good job, Rob.
Yep. So good.
Who, by the way, should be closer because they're both so nice to look at.
I know. Yeah. Steven looks so much older though.
Ageist.
Like, oh no! I just like, I was just like, time comes for us all.
Well,
like, really and truly,
there are ways around it now, but
it's true.
Look at Kris Jenner,
right?
She looks 17 again.
She looks great. Even like Miss Patricia from Southern Charm. Like she's like 80 fucking 5. Like she's old.
Oh, it's gonna be sad when she dies.
I know. She seems well though.
Yeah, she does. Whitney, I'll take care of her. Importantly, they all sit down and Eric speaks first and says that he thinks it could be Candiace. And then Mark agrees and says that the throwaway vote was suspicious. And then after the conversation is very much already about Candiace, Rob says, well, yeah, the last name that Colton said to me last night was Candiace.
Right.
Candiace brings up Rob to Johnny and Kristen and says he was so flustered at breakfast because he like dropped a fork. And can I just say, based on the way that man ate his egg with his fork, I am surprised he hasn't dropped more forks on the show.
Right. I know. Not strong evidence. Not strong evidence.
No, but it's all she has.
Right.
And she knows that. And that's why going after him is such a bad move. Why would you not just be like, okay, that happened with Lisa. Let's reconvene. Let's do this together. There's heat on Colton. Let's not murder him. Let's get him out next. There's heat on whoever it might be. Johnny. Let's get him out next. Like, why are you going against somebody who now we see, we're going to get into the mission and there's a quote, so I'll talk about it more. So in the mission, there are 2 teams. One team of 8 stays at the castle, and then 3 of them will go to the gallery. And in the gallery, there's 1 shield. Only the 3 people who go to the gallery have the opportunity to get the shield. They talk about who should go. They nominate people. Rob says that he is scared to get murdered. And then Candiace says, Rob getting a shield is like me running up a hill. I don't want it. But everyone just wants to drink Rob's bathwater because he is such a faithful.
This was really funny. I laughed out loud at this one.
I screamed because I was like, if he is such a faithful that everyone wants to drink his bathwater, why do you think it's a good idea to go after him?
I know. That's true. That's true. She should know better.
That's crazy.
She should be putting more effort into proving to everyone that he's not a faithful. You know what I mean?
That he's not a faithful?
Yeah, because everyone thinks that he is.
No. What do you mean? What? She can't do that alone. There's no reason to believe that he is a traitor. She should be going after somebody to deflect from herself who is not Rob, who does have heat on them, to save herself. That's what she should be doing.
I agree. I'm also wondering, like, maybe like more an experimental play. Maybe she could like plant information and like trip Rob up somehow. I'd have to like think more on that tactic, but like I feel like that's a tactic she could have utilized. But she wouldn't have thought of it.
Yeah, but also like what again could she have planted that wouldn't also implicate herself?
I think that's an easy one to get out of. I suspected that Rob was a traitor and I was trying to prove it. You know, like that's what I would say. I fed him false information in order to trip him up because I wanted to see if he was actually a traitor. I'm just thinking about other strategies she could have utilized. But I loved the Saltburn reference.
Oh, I never saw it.
Oh yeah. So the whole scene though where like Barry Keoghan like is like
Let
so
me
obsessed.
repeat to you.
You haven't seen it.
How would I know a scene from a movie I haven't seen?
Because it was really popular. It was like viral kind of.
Okay.
Well, basically what happens is Jacob Elordi's character masturbates in the bathtub. And then as the bathtub is draining, Barry Keoghan's character gets into the bathtub and drinks the bathwater.
Ew, I feel sick.
It is gross. I'm not gonna lie. It is a gross scene. It's very like Call Me by Your Name eating the peach.
Oh, that didn't gross me out. Something about like
serious?
dirty bathwater and cum is so much grosser than peach and cum. Ugh.
They both make me want to vomit. But would I consider drinking Rob's bathwater? Maybe.
I would not.
Okay,
we found the source.
We found the line. We found the Ari's line. We'll not drink Rob's bathwater.
What is like? He's not even there. Why would I want to do that? I want to be with
know.
him in the other room, wherever he is, after he gets out of the bath.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, I loved this line.
Mark, Kristen, and Rob end up going to the gallery. And this, I was like so happy watching this because I was like, this is exactly the challenge that Maura has been waiting for. Because last week you were like, they're also like physical. And I was like, we'll get something more
non-physical,
funny. And here it is. I was absolutely dying laughing during this challenge. So in the castle, there are 6 empty frames. And then there's a little plaque at the bottom that describes the painting that goes into the frame. And there are 2 groups of 4 within the 8 that stayed at the castle. And the people have to go into the castle, find one of these plaques, and then reenact the painting based on this description, take a photo of themselves that gets sent to the 3 people in the gallery. And then they go around and find a painting that matches their recreation. So they start with reenacting a Highland cow. Eric puts grass in his mouth.
This was so good.
Oh my God. It was so funny. The other group also has to pretend to be calves at one point. I don't remember who it was. Natalie maybe was picking up Maura, and she goes, not like that, like a cow. In the gallery, they're like, okay, they're cows. Rob says, Dorinda's a cow. And Kristen says, I'll let you tell her that.
I know, that was funny. I also like how Kristen was like, oh, they're saying moo. They're totally saying moo. And it cuts to like, moo.
Yeah.
Like Dorinda on the ground, moo. It was so good.
They do realize that they are cows. They get the painting right, and it's a match. And then the gallery is kind of struggling to find the next one. Kristen notices that there's only a covering on the back of one of the paintings, so she rips it open and gets the shield. Genius.
So smart.
The second photo was a fail, and Eric is pissed. He goes, I ate grass. I put an allergen in my mouth.
Dedicated to the bit.
I literally love this show.
I know, it's so fun.
Next is Murdering Hour. So that was like a bunch of traitors. But honestly, that was a hard one to have to act out.
Enact.
Yes. There's the description and the painting I thought were pretty incongruent. Like,
I agree.
it did make sense, but like that's not what they were going to do.
Right.
I don't know. I thought that they were kind of set up for failure for that one.
They
to
were.
give them credit.
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
And lead the charge. The girls get a match on lead the charge, but the other one, like we said, is not a match. This girls group is killing it. It's Maura, Tara, Dorinda, and Natalie. Was that it?
That's right.
So they end up adding $12,000 to the prize pot, which now stands at $150,800.
A lot.
Crazy.
Quite a lot of money.
I did want to mention two other things. Two amazing quotes.
Okay.
There was a moment where they thought that Steven, I think, was a horse, or they thought Johnny was a horse. This was it. They thought Johnny was a horse when he was wearing Candiace's, when she was the milkmaid, and he was wearing her black and white, like, houndstooth coat. And Alan told them that, and Steven goes, who milks a horse? And then the very last one that they ended up getting finally with this group with Candiace, Johnny, Eric, and Steven was Eric was pretending to be a baby and like crying in a wrapped up blanket, and they were going back and forth about if it was a pig's head or a crying baby, which Alan also told them, and Eric said, I'm offended. Did you just call me a dismembered pig?
I also liked when Rob thought that Natalie's hand as a horse was
an ostrich.
Maybe it's an ostrich. I was like, bro.
That was funny though, because they had to tell Natalie it's just a photo. It's not a it's not a video, because she kept being like
right.
I loved this challenge.
It was really
loved
fun.
this challenge so much.
Yeah, it was a blast. So after the challenge, Natalie and Maura think that Candiace could be the traitor. Kristen and Mark think that it's probably a guy. There you go. You're on to it. And Johnny and Eric discuss it being Candiace as well.
Can we just put a quick pin in that? Remember, everyone, that everyone is starting in this moment to be suspicious that there has to be a man, because the only traitors that have been voted out are Mama Kelsey, Lisa, and Candiace. No, Mama Kelsey and Lisa.
Right.
So already, before Candiace is even voted out, there is already suspicion in the air. It has to be a man. Hold that thought for later.
Yep. Yeah. So Johnny also thinks that it could be Steven, and Eric is trying to understand why someone would kill Colton. Johnny then tells Candiace that her name is being said because of her throwaway vote, and Dorinda thinks that it could be Steven or Candiace. Dorinda says she was surprised that Lisa gave her gold to Steven in the Monument Challenge.
Yes. Also, I think that this is at some point during this moment. I think it was when Johnny and Eric were talking. Johnny said something that actually made me cry. He goes, I can't imagine Lisa strategizing. So who's strategizing?
I know. Lisa catching strays. I mean, he's not wrong.
No, I die.
Yeah, that was great. Steven and Candiace chat, and they have to like turn away Dorinda for a moment because she tries to enter the room, and they're like, actually, I just want to chat alone.
She walks away and she goes, well, that's a tell.
Yes, it is. So Candiace asks about whose name is being thrown out, and Steven tells her that Colton was saying her name last night. And Candiace tells Steven that she thinks that Rob was saying her name to Colton.
Her face in the moment that she found out that Colton was saying her name was absolute art.
Yeah, it was good. Because she's like, fuck, I know exactly what's happening.
She's like,
yeah.
maybe you shouldn't have gone after him when he just proved how good he is.
Yep. So Candiace says she thinks that Rob was puppeteering Colton. And then Rob walks in on them talking. So
Yeah.
then Rob asked to talk to Candiace alone.
This is the moment that I was thinking of that I'm curious your thoughts on.
With like the outcome of Rob asking to talk to her alone.
Yes.
And will that be a giveaway for Steven?
Yes.
I could see it. I could see the I don't think so, only because it could be Rob is simply talking to her because of the throwaway vote.
Yeah.
And now also like she is saying his name to other people. So he could want to confront her about that, even as a faithful.
Totally. I just think like if Steven was smart, he would maybe ask them both separately what they talked about.
Yeah, that is smart.
To me, like honestly, this scares me a little bit for Steven. I think they might have to kill him.
Yeah, they might have to kill Steven.
Yeah.
But Rob needs like more. He needs more guys to stay because it helps him hide in plain sight.
Maybe.
Yeah. Candiace asks Rob where her name is coming from, and he's like, "I've heard it from pretty much everyone."
Yes.
And he says that I'm not going to push for you at the round table. Candiace, they're talking more about Colton. Rob says that Colton said her name first, and Candiace asks where and when he knew this information. He says this morning.
Yeah.
But she's like, you didn't know about it last night? And he's like, no. Candiace is like, it would be convenient for you to say, oh, let's murder Colton last night. And he was like, right. She really clocked it. She really clocked him in this moment. And also him having to lie when she was like, when did you find out this information? And he was like, this morning. She's like, you didn't find out about it last night? No.
He did not say this morning. He lied flawlessly.
But he does, he almost smiles. There is a whisper of a smirk
Yes.
right before he says it. And I'm like, that's your tell. No one, I feel like I know it because I'm watching it on a TV screen. I know he's lying. So I'm
Right.
like looking for the tell. But he's done it. I've noticed it a couple times, but he lies. He has a very straight face, but there's just a quick, a whisper of a smirk.
Yeah. I also am just like, yeah, Candiace, maybe it would have been convenient for him to do that. But also, like, totally possible that somebody is going around this fucking castle saying your name and not saying it to your fellow traitors. Like, stop blaming everything on Rob. I know that he absolutely trapped you with this, but she's so unwilling to, like, take accountability for any of her bad gameplay. Still, like literally still, she was on Watch What Happens Live between episode 7 and 8. Andy asked her, do you think that your throwaway vote made you look suspicious? And she said no.
I know.
Knowing that she goes home the next fucking week for the throwaway vote.
Right.
Make it make sense, Candiace.
She
Like
doesn't
she's just,
get it.
it's all about like, no, I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. He came for me. Fuck him. And it doesn't actually make sense, most of it.
I agree.
Yeah. But so then obviously with this, she's like, oh, Colton was saying my name. Well, then Rob must have been giving Colton my name.
Exactly.
Again, unwilling to look at what could I have done to made myself look suspicious. Maybe the fact that Lisa was voted out and was a traitor and I refused to consider that she was a traitor when everyone else was on that bandwagon.
I know. You know, you can lead a horse to water. Can't make him drink. She's not going to understand it.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't milk him.
Exactly. Exactly that. Rob then says to Candiace, so it sounds like you don't trust me. He then apologizes. She's like, well, you said sorry to Lisa too.
No, she goes, I didn't say that. We just have different values.
Right.
Which is, again, even within the context of the game, being like, it's not that I don't trust you. It's that you are a flawed human being.
Rob also tells Candiace that he feels like she's taking this personally. And he's like, this is a game. And then she calls him a snake, which like, that's not a diss to him.
No,
He loves snakes.
She won't stop calling him a snake. And I'm like, And he goes, the game is called Traitors. And she said, yeah, and you're not a traitor. You're a snake.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? the implication is you're not playing your role. You're a bad person.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I know. It's weird. It's
How
weird.
dare she?
Yeah. So Candiace says that if she gets banished tonight, his name is going to come up. And he says that that's bad sportsmanship, which I thought was funny.
Yeah. It was.
I guess it would be like if on her way out, she like said something that hinted at Rob being a traitor. That would be bad sportsmanship. She doesn't do that. So that's good.
Thank God. I was terrified because I actually thought that that's what she meant. I think that's what he thought she meant as well, because she said, if I get banished tonight, your name is going to come up.
Right.
How could she say that, meaning I'm going to bring your name up at the round table? Like, the implication was I'm going to stand up there and say your name in the circle of truth.
Exactly. Right. I agree.
Obviously, they can't force her not to do that, but it's also against the rules. As is telling anyone that you're a traitor, for everyone who thinks that Rob told Colton. But also, like, if Rob told Colton, why would that not have been on the show? There's just so many questions.
I know. I agree. Because that's juicy. That's juicy content.
Why would he ever do that?
Right.
So it would be so stupid.
You're throwing away the game. Like you're throwing away your chance at money. All you have to do is be like, hey, everyone, Rob told me he's a traitor. Let's vote him out. Like, and then he's out, and then you're done. Like, why would you ever tell anyone? It doesn't make any sense.
No.
People are dumb. Okay. Then we head to the round table. This is one of the best round table episodes I think we've seen so far.
My heart was pounding out of my chest.
Pounding. I was very anxious. Very, 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 very anxious. So
can I tell you before we get to the round table about an ITM that Rob has?
Please. Always.
He says, this makes me want to cry.
Oh my God.
I've dealt with a lot of conflict over my life. I think that helps in games like this. You learn how to work people. It gets very sinister at the end. But I said, Rob, baby, honey boy, what conflict? Let me make it better. Who hurt you? Who was mean? Let me fix it.
I love it.
It's so hard to pretend like I'm not obsessed with him. So I guess I'll just...
I know. It is hard.
But just know that the things are separate. I swear to God, you may think that I'm blinded by my obsession, but I am genuinely not.
I agree.
We are students of this game.
Students of the game. Mm-hmm. So Johnny says it is hard to know who to trust, and Colton told him to watch out for Steven. Dorinda then brings up how Lisa gave Steven her gold, and Steven says that he asked Lisa for the gold, and that had he not asked, she probably would have never given it to him. Eric then brings up how consistent Candiace was in her votes until yesterday. Candiace explains that she didn't think either Natalie or Lisa were traitors, and so her solution was a throwaway vote. Candiace says that there was a consensus vote for Natalie before the round table, and then Candiace says that Tara rallied the votes. Little heat onto Tara here.
Why? Candiace,
I don't
why?
know.
Why are you making more enemies?
That was a bizarre way to try to save herself. Natalie thinks that this is a red flag for Tara. Natalie, babe, you're so off base. And Tara's like, no, it wasn't just me. It was the group. We were all talking about it. And then Candiace tries to bring up how Rob got flustered at breakfast.
Yeah. And Rob says, I was not nervous. I was upset. I think everyone knows that Colton and I were really close in here. I dropped a fork, but I've dropped a lot of forks in my life. Very calm.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
So calm. Mm-hmm.
And then Maura brings up how last round table, Candiace said that her vote for Rob was a throwaway vote. But now she actually seems suspicious about Rob. So, like, what happened there? And she, again, the only thing that she has to lean on is, well, the way she says it too is weird. She goes, well, the example that I brought up was this morning, his nervousness. Like, the way she said it didn't make a lot of sense to me. But she's trying to say that between last night and tonight, she saw that he was nervous. And that's why it went from throwaway vote to actual suspicion.
Right.
Okay.
Bizarre.
So Candiace then asks Rob about how he mentioned Lisa to her. And then after that, Colton said Lisa's name. This is just like crazy because it's obviously fake.
Mm-hmm.
This is just all a lie. And she says, which has been like the hill that she's been dying on this whole episode, that obviously Rob was using Colton as his, to do his dirty work, to deliver the information that was actually coming from Rob.
Which is a terrible argument because Colton was just murdered. Why would Rob kill his puppet?
Right.
Like,
if he was
it's a
doing that and
terrible
it was
argument.
working, yeah, then why would he die?
Right.
Another reason that killing Colton was such a good move for Rob.
Incredibly great move. Yes, exactly. And we said that last week too. I was like, they should kill Colton.
Yeah.
But we also talked about how Colton helped cover them up. So anyway.
Yeah. I actually
pros and cons.
stand by. I mean, if our end goal, I love how this all played out, but if the end goal is to keep the traitors around as long as possible, they absolutely should have killed somebody else last night and put the heat on Colton at the round table. So many people were willing to. Kristen was like, I'm so confused. I was convinced it was him, and then he was murdered. Like, he absolutely could have been banished at this round table, and Candiace could have saved herself had she not made that choice. But anyway, here we are. You made your own bed.
Yep.
Rob says, no, actually, Colton brought up Lisa's name first. And then the next day, I did tell him that I would help him at the round table, which what he didn't say, and maybe he should have said, is like, because Colton, and this is true, Colton was like, also, I'm like so self-conscious about
Colton?
the way that I said. Yeah, somebody commented on.
That was really funny.
It's so true. I really said
I've never
Colton.
noticed. I didn't notice it until it's very Baltimore of you, actually, Ari.
Is
because
it?
we don't. Yeah, we like. I've just said Baltimore. I pronounce the T, but usually people just say Baltimore, and they don't
Baltimore.
pronounce the Baltimore, and you don't pronounce the T.
Huh.
And so you saying Colton without the colon, without the T,
Colon.
Colton.
Colon is a great nickname for him.
Colon is a really good nickname for him, actually.
Because he's poopy.
I love it.
Okay, I just had his name so many times that like I distracted myself by getting self-conscious. But anyway, this would have been a good argument for Rob to bring up, to say Colton actually was feeling like he didn't have a leg to stand on at the round table because he had already thrown his weight behind people who were wrong. And so I told him that I would help him because I agreed with the evidence against Lisa, and he didn't feel like he had the goodwill amongst the group to like be the primary torchbearer of that argument.
Yes.
He says that when he had something to add to the conversation that he did, and Candiace was like, well, you don't say much at round tables. And he says, I do not fill silence. That's not when I speak.
Bars. I loved that.
It's true.
Yeah.
He knows himself so well.
I know. He's an onion, Ari.
The onion was peeled when I got it. That was one of my favorite Leah lines of the whole season.
That was a really good one.
Okay. Candiace then says a very unfortunate thing.
Go ahead.
She says that Colton was being used as Rob's, and she does quotes, beard.
This felt homophobic to me.
100%. Why would you say this at the round table after you saw what happened to Michael? Like, not saying that I just think that happens. Then you just say nothing of the sort. Then you just don't bring up his sexuality. You don't say this sort of shit ever.
Yeah. This was not it. And I saw a lot of people online thought that this was a hilarious joke.
What?
And I was like, this is a little offensive. And rude.
Literally, I'm sorry. What are people on?
I don't know.
And could I maybe have some? Because not that I want to hate Rob, but it just feels like not living in the real world would be a little bit easier right now.
That's so true.
So if you don't mind sharing, I'd love to take some of your crazy pills.
Your delusion.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord. Yeah, I did not like this line. This felt icky to me.
I thought so too. I thought it was really gross.
Yeah.
So anyway, it is now time to vote. And I'm ready. I'm ready for her to go down. I'm fucking ready.
I know, but I'm paranoid.
You were terrified?
I was so scared. I was like, maybe I like didn't find her argument to be convincing enough to vote for Rob, but I was like, he might get a couple votes.
Yeah, like it's not going to screw him right now, but it might screw him later type thing.
Yes. Yep.
Which he is very aware of. One thing I wanted to mention is at this point, Logan and I were ahead of you in the episode, and Logan texted and was like, what an excellent episode. And I texted him and I was like, unsend that, because I don't want Maura to, I want her to sit in the discomfort of knowing that Rob might go home like we had to. And so he unsent, we were like strategizing behind the scenes. He unsent it, even though you had already seen it. And then I responded and was like, I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about it. Because I was like, no!
I don't know if I actually had seen it. I don't know if
you had, I think, because you responded. I like swear that you responded to something in that chat after it was sent, and so I was like, oh, it's ruined for her. But so I'm so happy to hear that you were stressed. That's exactly what I wanted.
I was very stressed. Yeah, I was very stressed. I was only partially paying attention to that group chat, so you guys got lucky. Because I was taking notes. I was like, like, rapid fire.
Me too. And then as soon as this episode was over, I went back to the beginning and watched it again.
I watched it again the next day.
Okay, so time to vote. Before it's time to vote, Alan asks if anyone would like to use the dagger. Rob does not. Genius move. He says that it is holding his alliance together. But the other thing is he knows that he has 2 more roundtables to use it. And there probably will be one of those next 2 roundtables where there is more heat on him. And he needs the dagger. I think the dagger will save him.
I know, but now I feel like using the dagger looks suspicious.
Why?
I worry about that, because if it's like I'm trying to save my, I mean, I guess not, because it's like, who wouldn't use the dagger to save themselves?
Of course you're trying to save yourself. That's the point of the game. Everyone wants to win. Faithful or traitor.
I know. I don't know why it makes me feel like it makes him look more suspicious, but I think he'll get out of it.
I actually think him not using it on Lisa or Candiace is a really, really good move, because as a traitor, like, you don't want to vote for someone and then have to be in the turret with them. And so it would be easiest potentially to use it just to ensure that they're gone, so you don't have to deal with the repercussions. And now, unless he, spoiler, uses it on Eric in the future, I think that we're in a good position for him to use it in the least possible suspicious way.
I agree.
So Maura votes for Candiace. She says that she thought that it was strange that she had a trowaway vote, and now she's targeting that person. Eric also votes for Candiace. Candiace, of course, votes for Rob. Johnny votes for Candiace. A beautiful moment. Yeah. Kristen votes for Candiace. Natalie then votes for Tara, which I thought was so funny, but also gave us the most poetic, beautiful moment of a Rob being the one to have the deciding vote. If one more vote is for Candiace, Candiace will be banished, and Rob votes for Candiace, and then the rest of the people reveal their votes. They all also voted for Candiace.
Rob says, I voted for the beautiful, intelligent, and he gives her one other compliment. I forget what it was, but I was like, okay, classy.
He's like, please remember, I'm not a bad person.
Right.
We can be friends. Nope. No, you can't.
We can be friends. Okay.
Candiace goes and she reveals that she is a traitor.
Maura and Eric have this great moment where they turn and look at each other and they go, we are so good.
Did you notice that when they were celebrating, Rob picked up Maura with one arm?
No. What? I missed that. How in my 2 watches of this show did I miss that?
That's the problem with taking notes. It's almost like we need 3 watches because you're not really fully paying attention for 2 watches. You're really only fully and the thing is, for me at least, like on my second watch, I'm also like usually adding additional notes that I didn't think of the first time.
Same.
So you miss these small moments.
Yes. I take the notes to get the plot, like the details, and then I watch it the second time to get the minor details. Like the little, we are so good. I missed that completely the first time, but I loved it the second time. His sup. I didn't even notice the sup from Rob the first time I watched the show. I saw it watching it my second round.
Yeah, well, you didn't notice the second sup, first or second watch.
Either. I know.
I guess it's time for a third watch. I actually think I'll rewatch this whole season once it's done.
it
It's
was
been
so
so
good.
good so far.
I agree.
Anyway, so Candiace says that she feels confident that they will look at Rob now. And if they don't, then that's on them.
Yeah. And in this ITM, we see her iconic cry angle. She tears up and she uses her little tissue in a triangle that she has.
Got it.
Yeah.
Everyone is just around the round table praising Candiace. She did so well. Rob ITMs that this is the most vulnerable he has ever been, which is unfortunately true, and also why he needed to save the dagger. Johnny ITMs that he feels defeated. And then as they're all walking out, Rob says, does she think just because I'm quiet, I haven't built relationships here? Which I think is a really smart way to deflect and be like, obviously she was like going for somebody that she perceived to be vulnerable to get the heat off of herself.
Right.
This was not traitor on traitor crime. I promise.
I promise it wasn't.
We see some of them now in the kitchen discussing how it was weird that Candiace said that Johnny should get the shield or should be in the gallery group and have the opportunity to get the shield. And then we see Kristen and Eric talking, and Kristen says Candiace didn't really leave us with much except for Rob, which there's no way. Eric goes no, and Kristen goes, that's sweet, sweet man.
I love that. I was
That's
like,
sweet,
period,
sweet man.
Kristen. Period. That's sweet, sweet man.
Maura wonders to Tara if it could be Johnny, and Tara's like, absolutely not. And then we see Rob enter the turret alone.
Finally, some peace and quiet.
Yeah, why are people mad at him about that?
Wait, what were they mad at him about?
Saying finally some peace and quiet.
Oh, he's just being campy for the show.
It's funny. He's there alone.
Yeah, exactly. So silly.
Alan enters and says to Rob, how does it feel to be the slayer of housewives? And Rob kind of like giggles and smiles and he goes, feels pretty good.
I loved this laugh giggle from him. It was so good. It's nice to see him smile like that, you know?
I also loved it. It hurts me for him because I know that people are going to be pissed. But like realistically, he was not the slayer of housewives. He amputated from his own body the infectious parts that were going to kill him.
Exactly.
As anyone would do in this game. The traitors are a group. The faithfuls are a group. This is an individual game. Every single player is there for themselves. Every single player. And if you tell me I'm wrong, you're wrong. And guess what? Maybe Candiace wasn't, and she went home. Candiace was like, oh, me and Lisa till the end. Well, guess what? You can't do that because you can't control Lisa, and she made mistakes that you then suffered for.
Yep.
So basically, he is now told that he has to recruit someone. Per the rules of the games, he cannot be a solo traitor. And he will meet them face to face, and they will be given the ultimatum to either become a traitor or to die. So he's kind of talking through his options. He says that he could pick someone who is the most suspect, like Johnny. But that would be very high risk for him because it could backfire. The more likely chance to win, he says, is picking someone smart who can help take suspicion off of myself. And so he says that those people could be Eric, could be Mark. Everyone was like, oh, Rob is so sexist. He only wants to work with a man. Rob knows that there has been only women banished and that has been a point of conversation. Why would he put more heat on himself by leaving the rest of the men faithful?
Correct. Yep. It's a numbers game and everyone knows it's a guy left. He has to make another guy a traitor to get the heat off himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it turns out that he decides to recruit Eric, and amazing moment. Eric goes in, he sees, your presence has been requested at a meeting, and he holds up the thing, which, by the way, Rob, honey, do we need to work on penmanship?
The handwriting is rough.
Do they not teach that down in Bama?
I don't know. They might not.
No, I'm asking seriously. Do they not
Right.
teach that in the schools of Bama?
Yeah. My handwriting is also really terrible.
Oh, interesting. I have good handwriting.
I have really bad handwriting.
I also went to Waldorf school and like learned how to do calligraphy and cursive, so that's part of it. But anyway, an unbelievable moment from Eric where he goes, "This is the traitor's handwriting, and I know who it is. It's Johnny." And Logan texted me and said, "I'm crying when Eric goes, 'This handwriting is the traitor's, and I know who it is. It's Johnny.'" So Eric has magic ears and magic eyes.
Yes. Dude, that was so funny. I laughed. Oh my God.
I love Eric.
He's really fun. He's nice to watch. He's very like sweet and
He's
endearing.
so sweet. Yeah. So he pretty much figures out what's going on. He's like, "I think that I'm going to be recruited. That's going to be hard for me. I started this game as a faithful and I will die as a faithful because I could never be a traitor. Or could I do this?"
So what do you think? Will he take the offer?
Of course he'll say yes.
You think?
Of course.
Okay. He's going to be, I feel like he's not going to be a good traitor.
So here's the thing. The fact that Rob weighed out his options and said, "I could go with Johnny to get him out of the game and take heat off of myself, or I could go with these other people who are smart and will help me win."
Right.
That to me is like so indicative of how he views the traitor alliance. Like I do think he would have gone to the end with Candiace. I do think he wants to now go to the end with Eric. I think that he genuinely, like, why would he ITM a lie? That doesn't make sense. So or say a lie to Alan, like, and not in front of the other players. Like, he's being honest in that moment. And so if Rob turns on Eric and or gets on a bandwagon against Eric that is already rolling, it's going to be the exact same thing that we saw happen with Lisa and Candiace, where he had to save himself.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that now, like, this was very clearly not his intention to get somebody in that he can fuck off. Right.
Right.
And I already told you about season 2 of UK where that was what they did again and again and again.
Right.
And everyone kind of forgave him for it. I don't know. I did a lot of Reddit deep dives yesterday to be like, did people hate Harry because the fuck? I don't think that he got as much hate as Rob is, but I think that that's probably because he wasn't going up against housewives who have the fan base that they have.
The legions.
Yeah, it was just a normie season. But anyway, that's what I want to say about that. I think Eric will absolutely say yes. He has a spectacular face play when he walks out and Rob reveals himself. He is so shocked, and that is so satisfying to know that nobody in the fucking castle believes that it's him.
Eric was totally gagged. All right, Ari, let's do our awards. I'm so excited.
Who was your MVP?
Obviously, I'm gonna have to give it to Rob yet again. I'm sorry. He's playing an incredible fucking game. Also, nobody other than Candiace voted for him at the round table. That is insane.
Nobody other than Candiace has ever voted for him at the round table.
Yep, exactly. And like that being the case and like her going home and being a traitor does just make it look like it was this random vote. Like no one was buying her story. He's playing a flawless game.
He got her out before her strategy gained any steam.
Yep, exactly. It's just absolutely incredible. What about you?
Obviously, also Rob. I said last week that now that we knew that the rest of this season was going to be Rob versus Candiace, the reason that Candiace is mad at him, wants to curse him out, doesn't follow him on Instagram, etc., is because Rob was going to win. Did I know that Rob would win the Rob versus Candiace battle in one episode? I did not. Yeah. But I am pleasantly surprised as always and just beyond impressed.
Speaking of Rob winning, a couple things. One, I noticed that he has 2 more ITM interview outfits. So
he makes it a long way.
He's gonna probably make it all the way. He probably does win the show. Another thing I noticed, someone counted how many confessionals, ITMs, he had so far this season in comparison to some of the other characters on the show. And it was like he already had like 67 confessionals or something, like really high, which means that he's the story. He's the main character. He is the story we're following. He's the person we're supposed to care about.
Can I just like, what if Rob wasn't a traitor and he was just like a Steven on this show? That would have been so sad.
Like a waste of talent. I know. But I'm also like, maybe people would hate him less.
Oh, they would. But I'm just saying it would be so sad for us. Think of what we would have been deprived of in that alternate universe.
This is what I was like. I think that was actually what I was most worried about going into this season with Rob being on it. I was just like, he would be so good at this game. I just know that. But also, if he's just like a faithful in the like, he is so quiet that he would just fade into the background like everybody else.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad he's a traitor.
Same.
Okay, who was your most toxic?
My most toxic, unshockingly, was Candiace for blaming her bad gameplay on Rob when literally everyone in the castle is telling her why they are suspect of her, and it actually had nothing to do with Rob saying her name or talking shit or throwing her under the bus. It was 100% her own actions, and then continuing that narrative post-show, even after watching the goddamn show and seeing all of this, still blaming it on Rob, probably partially because she sees the hate that he's getting and the support that she's getting, and she likes it, and she wants people to pile on, and that is really fucked.
Yeah, not great.
What about you?
I also gave it to Candiace. I feel like more so though because of how she's acting post show. I feel like her sassiness and like putting him down and stuff like in show, I can kind of write that off as campy theatrics for the sake of television. But because she is going so hard in the paint outside in all these interviews, it's like not great. It's like not a good vibe.
Yeah. What was your LOL moment?
Honestly, this was really hard to choose.
It was.
The sup, the bath water, it's Johnny. I couldn't choose. I lean bath water maybe, but all three of those were good. What about you?
Who milks a horse?
That was good. What was your error?
Candiace murdering Colton.
Oh yeah, that is definitely an error. Oh, she did not have all the information.
She did not, and she could have if she had played a better game.
Yeah, that's true. My error was her going after Rob so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Bad idea.
What was your moment?
This was a little tough, actually. There was no major moments, but the one moment I did love was when he said, "I don't feel silence. That's not when I speak." That was like, I love that. That's hot. What about you?
I think mine is a moment this week, and it was him saying, I've dealt with a lot of conflict in my life.
Yeah.
And it's a moment because I will be panting after I beat the ass of whoever's been mean to him.
Well, there's a lot of people online who are mean to him.
I'm ready.
What was your most shocking moment?
My most shocking moment was Colton not coming to breakfast.
I know. I was between that and recruiting Eric, but I think killing Colton was I was pretty gagged by that.
Who did you think he was going to kill?
You mean recruit?
Yeah, sorry. Who did you think he was going to recruit?
I really didn't know. I was like, I don't think any of them would be a good recruit option, to be honest with you.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see what happens though with this. Like,
I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm very excited for the next few episodes. I did want to quickly go back and just look at some things that I've texted you. Okay, here's exactly what Colton Underwood said on Threads. The mental gymnastics some of y'all are doing to not respect the game Rob is playing is wild. Murdering me was brilliant. Mm-hmm. The Faithfuls can't even figure out that the two figure skaters are friends. There's no way they're going to get Rob.
Accurate.
Another LOL moment for me that we didn't even talk about is somebody on Threads posted, I love that while everyone else is traitoring or faithfuling, Dorinda is just there on a Real Housewives Ultimate Girls trip, because this is what she says about Lisa.
Would have never have guessed it was Lisa. I just didn't see it. And maybe it's because during this time together, we've just bonded. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I was like having a fabulous girls' weekend with him.
That's hilarious. Oh, Dorinda.
If you're pro Candiace, I get it. She's a great housewife. She's a great character. It's really harmful, the like saying you're an actually bad person because of this game that we played together and I didn't like how you went about it. And I would hope that you would take that into account in choosing your actions moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, well, I mean, obviously it does help play up. I mean, if we are to assume that the parasocial plays occurring outside of the castle at the moment are leading up to reunion, then she is certainly stirring up a lot of hype for the reunion.
I'm terrified for the reunion. I think she's going to be awful to him.
I know. I think so too. I worry he might cry.
No.
I know.
Well, I actually don't think he will because he is a pretty thick skin. But I do think that at least there are other people, Lisa Rinna included. Like I said, like props to Lisa Rinna for how she handled this, because I don't think Rob went after either of them. But if you're comparing Lisa to Candiace, he much more directly went after Lisa.
Yeah, I agree.
And she doesn't care. She's like, it's funny and I had a great time and he's such a good player, and like doesn't fucking hate him.
Yeah.
And like is not causing like additional parasocial bullying. I just really appreciate how she's handling it. And I think that's how it should be done. And I don't really understand why Candiace, it feels like, sure, Candiace is probably mad that she got banished, but I also think she's mad on Lisa's behalf. And I don't get it because Lisa's not mad.
Right. Yeah. Also, like, Rob didn't go after Candiace even at this round table. Candiace dug her own grave. Like, all he did was defend himself, but he didn't say anything about why she was a traitor, at least from what we saw.
Really good point. But she just is convinced, like, oh, well, he's been going around telling Colton to say my name and planting all these seeds and just, like, wanted to get me and Lisa out. And, like, that's just not what happened.
I know, but then that's confusing why she would now still outside of the I keep wanting to say villa. Outside of the castle be, like, still stuck on this because now she's seen the evidence.
The show.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
One thing I want to talk about. She continuously keeps going back to like, oh, well, we had an alliance. Like the Traitors made an alliance. We all said we won't, like, we'll stick together in the beginning of the season. What are your thoughts on that?
I had totally forgotten about the alliance, and I intended to go back and check actually the first episode to see what was the real context of said alliance, because I just kind of took that as like, hands in together, we got this, go team. But I didn't take that as like, we will not turn on each other.
They definitely said we will not turn on each other. They are like, we will do this together.
Okay.
That happens every fucking season. That's a standard part of the game.
Right.
I don't give a shit.
Right.
And like what Rob could have done that would have been really against this alliance is to like rally the vote for Candiace and Lisa before anyone else was saying their name.
Oh, you mean like Boston Rob did to Bob the drag queen?
Who are now close friends because it's a fucking game.
Right.
Right. So to go against that alliance, I do think that Rob could have been like really actively going against them.
Yeah.
What we saw him say again and again and again is, I'll defend her, but I can only do so much. I can't defend her because at this point her banishment papers were signed by Jam Jam on the way out. Like what we saw him do was just step back and say, why would I go down with you?
Right. Right.
I hear that, but I guess the other thing is for me, like, yes, there's the three of them, but also like when we're talking about this relationship specifically, Candiace versus Rob, well, how are you out here and that's your argument when you were literally rallying the vote for Rob, the first person to say his name, actively going against the alliance that you are now using as the reason to shit on him.
Right.
That's the part of it that doesn't make sense to me. If she had been like, all right, I am going to really go hard in the paint now for Johnny or for Mark or for whoever it might be, because we made this alliance, I'm not going to go against Rob. First of all, Rob would not have then gone against her. But also, you would be able to use this argument. The way that
Right.
you approached it, though, completely devalidates the fact that that's why you're mad, because you did the same thing first. Worse.
Yeah. Oh, Candiace.
Quarter
Maybe
zip
she'll learn.
up.
Oh my God, your hair.
Checking to see how the quarter zip works with headphones. Actually,
Nice.
great. After a little bit of adjustment.
Okay, there we go. That's cute. Wow. It's like you're in his sweatshirt.
It's like it's as close as I'll ever get to
Wearing
sewing
his
our
skin.
skin together.
I really got to get that crop top.
It's very cute. It is very stretchy.
Where does it hit on your stomach, by the way?
Hold on.
Are you wearing it?
Yeah. It's very cropped.
Okay. Oh, it's high. Okay, a little, like an inch above your belly button. Wow.
Yeah, but like super
Okay.
stretchy.
Super stretchy.
Not my underboob sweat.
Dude, real. So real. Okay.
The only
I'll
reason
to
that I
think
have
about
underboob sweat right now is because this tank top is so supportive that I don't need to wear a bra.
Love that.
All right. Go Super Bowl. Go Bad Bunny. I hope he wins.
Go Bad Bunny. Viva las football.
No. Que muera. I hope it dies.
I could not give a fuck about these two teams. Fuck the Pats. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, go Seahawks.
Yeah. But I don't care. Just let that be known.
I don't care. I care in the fact that
yeah.
I think that the NFL should be abolished.
I know. Right. I'm like, you definitely don't care.
I came like a little bit of a Broncos fan, like literally in the game that they lost. I was like, okay, look at us go without our quarterback. And I did ask Gabe recently. I was like, I really am dreading this. And I have been trying not to ask you, but what's a down? And so now I like kind of understand football, unfortunately.
Oh, do you want me to explain football to you?
No, he explained it. I get it now.
Okay,
That's enough.
Okay, fair.
But I just can no longer say that everything I know is against my will because I did seek out information because it's just fucking everywhere. But it doesn't change the fact I'm anti-NFL. Fuck CTE. Fuck domestic violence. Fuck all of these fucking Trump supporting. Although pretty sure that the owner of the Pats is very Trump friendly and the owner of the Seahawks is very Trump unfriendly. So
yes,
another reason
that's
to root for the Seahawks.
They did like someone did an analysis of like the players' voting records or something like that.
I'm assuming that most of them don't vote.
A lot of them did not vote, particularly the New England Patriots. It was like a huge swath of the team was like independent or like undecided.
Independent is fine. To be registered as an independent is not problematic to me. But
I agree.
Anyway,
but yeah,
go Bad
Bunny.
Bunny.
Funny though. Yeah, go Bad Bunny. Okay, thank you for listening, and we will see you on Thursday to chat All Stars.
See you then. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Please follow us at She's Got the Chat on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, and YouTube. Rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts. Please share us with a friend, an enemy, a coworker, a family member, a local politician. Bye.